Do I have regrets? Hell yeah, I have regrets.
What's going on with this country in general nowadays? Does that mean like your generation? Seriously. Come on. And these pronouns. What the is with the pronouns?
In a surprising development, Sylvester Stallone has just landed a powerful strike against woke Hollywood, causing the whole industry to be shaken. Here's what took place. Hollywood has evolved. The sector that once valued natural skill, determination, and honest narratives is now maneuvering through the challenging terrain of political correctness. The issue is, where does a person like Sylvester Stallone, a true representation of traditional masculinity, belong in this society? Speculation has been circulating regarding a recent interview in which Stallone confronted a media figure, challenging the contemporary trends in the industry.
He was just arriving. It was just competition. It was all about who is making bigger movies, who has more definition in their muscles, who has more box office success, who kills more people.
Some claim he revealed the hypocrisy of Hollywood. Some assert he just articulated the truth that others feared to express. But what actually took place? Have you heard about this issue? If that's not the case, get ready, because after you discover what happened, your perception of Hollywood will change forever. The studio is polished and contemporary, crafted to exude an aura of elegance. The lowered illumination creates elongated shadows, contributing a nearly cinematic intensity to the scene. A simple background, understated yet formidable, sets the stage for what is about to happen. Cameras are placed at key angles, prepared to record every flash of feeling, each change in body language. Opposite Stallone is Ethan Caldwell. He's dressed smartly, his fitted suit impeccably ironed, a purposeful contrast to Stallone's rough, relaxed charm. Ethan is recognized for his forward-thinking perspectives, challenging the limits of what is regarded as the new normal in Hollywood. He straightens his tie, a slight sign of authority, yet his actions reveal a trace of unease. Stallone, conversely, reclines with relaxed arms but vigilant eyes. He's participated in countless interviews before, but this particular one? This one seems distinct. He is aware of what is ahead. The inquiries, the implicit meaning, the fundamental obstacle. However, he isn't here to safeguard. He's here to clarify the facts. The crowd, although not visible, is sensed. Countless viewers. A few anticipating his misstep. Others were keen to witness him deliver the initial blow, not with fists, but through words. The scene is prepared. The confrontation of beliefs is set to start. Ethan leans in, his voice deliberately calm. Sylvester, some say the kind of masculinity you portray in films is outdated. Do you think Hollywood has moved past your era? A small nod of his head. Then, using his characteristic deep voice, he retorts, outdated? Since when did strength, discipline, and standing up for what you believe in become outdated? The room becomes quiet for a brief moment, the impact of his words lingering in the atmosphere. Ethan moves in his seat, clearly taken by surprise. He anticipated reluctance, a gentler reply, perhaps even an apology. But what he received was a straightforward confrontation. Stallone tilts his body slightly forward, his face remains steady. Let me tell you something, Ethan. I came from nothing. I fought for every role, every opportunity. You think toughness is outdated? Go ask the firefighters running into burning buildings. Ask the single mother working 2 jobs to feed her kids. Ask the soldier who doesn't know if he'll make it home tomorrow. Strength isn't outdated. It's the reason people survive. Ethan gulps nervously, trying to take charge of the discussion again. But don't you think Hollywood is evolving? That we should embrace a more nuanced form of masculinity? Stallone laughs softly, nodding his head. Nuanced? You mean watered down? Look, I have no problem with evolution, but when you start demonizing everything that built you, where do you think that leaves us? Weakness doesn't inspire. Pretending toughness is toxic won't change the fact that, in the real world, people need resilience. The audience observe as the power dynamics change. Ethan anticipated a straightforward victory, a quick acknowledgement of agreement. Yet Stallone? He's only beginning. That single line. That was all it required for social media to surge. In just a few hours, the video garners millions of views, igniting a digital battle between supporters of Stallone's transparency and critics who deem him disconnected. Twitter threads analyze each moment of the interview. Certain users regard Stallone as a hero, an icon who will not be silenced. Some insist on an apology, charging him with adhering to old-fashioned beliefs. Influencers, podcasters, and political analysts all engage in the discussion, each attempting to twist the clip to benefit their perspective. The dispute ignites rapidly. Mainstream media organizations rush to shape the story. Morning talk shows depict the situation as controversial, whereas late-night comedians make snide remarks about Stallone, ridiculing his position. However, in spite of the criticism, the figures reveal an alternate narrative. Viewers are enjoying it immensely. YouTube channels produce reaction videos, with each garnering millions of views. Facebook groups spark intense debates. Even those within Hollywood share their opinions, with some subtly backing Stallone's position while others pull away, concerned about potential repercussions. And then, just as it appears the storm is going to calm, Stallone himself reacts. A straightforward post consisting of just 3 words: "No apologies given." The internet erupts once more. The discussion resurfaces, more intense than ever. Backers rejoice, detractors seethe, and what about Hollywood? Hollywood must address a question it has been sidestepping for years. Has it become disconnected from the audience that contributed to its greatness? What occurs afterward, though, is an event that took everyone by surprise. Key news organizations get involved. They depict Stallone as opposed to progress. Commentators analyze his statements, distorting them into meanings they were never intended to convey. The headlines begin to appear. Stallone's archaic views on masculinity exposed. Why Hollywood must move past the Rambo era? And Sylvester Stallone sparks outrage over toxic ideals. Every prominent news outlet and entertainment website covers the story, each introducing their unique angle. Television talk shows allocate complete segments to the interview. Panelists, many of whom haven't even viewed the entire clip, fervently discuss whether Stallone's comments were dangerous or simply outdated. Some assert he's endorsing an unrealistic, hyper-masculine standard. Some believe he's merely an aging celebrity, unwilling to change. Social media amplifies the chaos. Twitter threads emerge dissecting each word, every pause, and all facial expressions. YouTube commentators analyze the video, sharing their opinions, some labeling him a hero, while others deem him an outdated figure. Digital petitions emerge, with activists requesting that networks hold him accountable, as Stallone's supporters initiate opposing petitions to uphold his freedom of speech. At the same time, late-night comics transform Stallone into a joke, amplifying his phrases for humor. Yet, in the midst of all this commotion, one vital question persists. Will Stallone reply? And if he does, will he take a cautious approach or reinforce his position? However, beyond Hollywood, something amazing occurs. Actual individuals, such as firefighters, single parents, and military veterans begin to share their experiences. Tales of perseverance, diligence, and always pushing through. All of a sudden, Stallone is no longer merely an actor. He represents an idea. A New York firefighter shares a video, still wearing their helmet and covered in soot after a 12-hour shift. He discusses how Stallone's roles in Rocky and Rambo showed him that strength lies not in winning effortlessly, but in persevering when faced with adversity. The video becomes a sensation. A solo mom posts about how viewing Stallone's movies with her deceased spouse taught their child the value of perseverance. She states, "Hollywood wants to tell us these values don't matter anymore, but they're the only things keeping us going." A veteran shares a video, seated in his truck, eyes full of emotion. "You want to know why we connect with Stallone?" he asks. "Because he understands us. He understands what it means to fight for something, to not be handed everything. That's why they hate him." The harder Hollywood attempts to overlook Stallone, the more the audience supports him. Individuals are not merely protecting a film actor, they're safeguarding what he symbolizes. And that's a confrontation Hollywood never anticipated. What does this indicate about contemporary society? Why is Hollywood so eager to stifle voices such as his? Ethan's connection falters. The process of damage control starts very quickly. Initially, they carefully edit the interview, cutting it into deceptive sound bites that remove essential context. Abruptly, the story shifts from Stallone's views on resilience and strength to that of an older action hero clinging to outdated ideals. Morning talk shows and web articles inundate the internet with titles. Stallone's outburst, "Is he out of touch?" Hollywood legend faces backlash over controversial comments. The emphasis has shifted from what Stallone actually expressed to how individuals reacted to it. Ethan resorts to social media to regain authority over the discussion. In a thoughtfully crafted statement, he asserts that Stallone's remarks were troublesome and argues that he was merely attempting to participate in a candid conversation. However, the harm has been inflicted. Leading networks participate, broadcasting panel discussions with Hollywood insiders who depict Stallone as a symbol of a past era, someone incapable of adapting to modern times. The discussion rapidly transitions from the interview to a broader critique of masculinity in entertainment, making Stallone a case study for Hollywood's alleged progress. In the meantime, fans and supporters of Stallone respond. Online, video analyses revealing media bias attract millions of views. Untouched video segments show how Ethan's crew manipulated Stallone's statements. The media's effort to shape the story is failing, and the internet refuses to accept it. Is the media genuinely focused on open conversation, or is this merely another instance of selective indignation? You make the choice. However, here's the key question. If Hollywood is truly assured in its path, why does the viewpoint of a single individual disturb the entire industry? Stallone's remarks have sparked a dialogue much larger than a single interview. They've revealed a significant cultural split between individuals who uphold traditional values and those who argue that Hollywood ought to establish new ones. However, the twist is that this involves more than just a single interview or one performer. This moment has turned into a critical point in a continuous struggle regarding the essence of entertainment. Is Hollywood intended to mirror the beliefs of the average individual, or is it a privileged establishment created to reform society based on its own objectives? The strong reaction to Stallone's interview implies that individuals are weary of being instructed on how to think. His remarks resonated deeply as they pertained not only to him, but also to countless others who feel disregarded by an industry that has stopped communicating in their language. Regardless of your opinion on Stallone, one fact is clear. He has compelled Hollywood to face a harsh reality that viewers are paying attention and are willing to respond. Now, the question remains, will Hollywood pay attention? Or will it intensify its efforts, pushing away those who contributed to its current success? No matter what occurs moving forward, it is evident that Stallone has demonstrated that the struggle for cultural identity is definitely ongoing. Is this the start of the decline for woke Hollywood? Or merely the initial strike in a much larger battle? Share your thoughts with us. Has Hollywood disconnected from its viewers? Or is Stallone just unwilling to change?